Clint Eastwood's story begins far from Hollywood glamour, rooted instead in resilience shaped by the Great Depression. Born in San Francisco in 1930, he grew up in a modest, frequently relocating household due to his father's work. Those early years instilled self-reliance, emotional restraint, and a quiet determination that would later define both his screen presence and real-life persona. Before acting, Eastwood worked as a lumberjack, lifeguard, and gas station attendant, experiences that grounded him in everyday America rather than celebrity culture. His service in the U.S. Army during the Korean War further reinforced discipline and structure, while also exposing him to creative communities that sparked his interest in film. These formative chapters were not glamorous, but they built the foundation of a man who valued effort over entitlement. Eastwood's later success would never erase these beginnings. Instead, they shaped his lifelong preference for hard work, privacy, and personal accountability. From television cowboy to global film icon, Eastwood's rise in entertainment was gradual and earned rather than sudden. After minor, often uncredited roles in low-budget films, his breakthrough came with the television western Rawhide, where his understated charisma quietly stole attention. That visibility opened the door to Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns, which transformed Eastwood into an international star during the 1960s. Films like A Fistful of Dollars and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly redefined the Western genre, presenting morally complex characters instead of idealized heroes. Eastwood's minimalist acting style, few words, steady gaze, restrained emotion, stood in stark contrast to traditional Hollywood bravado. These performances resonated with audiences seeking authenticity in a rapidly changing world. Rather than chasing trends, Eastwood helped shape them, embodying a new kind of leading man whose power came from silence and conviction. His ascent reflected patience, timing, and a deep understanding of cultural mood. Reinvention through directing and creative control. Rather than remaining confined to acting, Eastwood transitioned into directing with remarkable success. Beginning with Play Misty for Me, he demonstrated an instinctive grasp of pacing, tone, and emotional restraint. Over time, his directorial voice became known for efficiency, trust in actors, and respect for storytelling over spectacle. Films like Unforgiven challenged the very myths he once represented, offering a reflective, morally layered view of violence and legacy. Later works such as $1 Million Baby and Gran Torino explored aging, redemption, and responsibility with uncommon sensitivity. Eastwood's ability to evolve artistically while maintaining creative independence set him apart in Hollywood. He avoided excess, favored tight schedules, and trusted collaboration without micromanagement. This approach earned him critical acclaim and industry respect, proving that longevity in film comes not from reinvention for its own sake, but from honest growth guided by principle and experience. A complex personal life kept largely private. Behind the public image of strength and certainty, Eastwood's personal life has been layered and sometimes complicated. His marriages, long-term relationships, and large family unfolded largely outside public commentary, reflecting his preference for privacy. He supported many of his children quietly, allowing them to choose their own paths without excessive spotlight. Some followed creative careers, others remained private. But Eastwood rarely spoke publicly about family dynamics. This restraint reinforced his reputation as a man who separates public achievement from private life. While his relationships included challenges and changes over time, he avoided public blame or spectacle. Instead, Eastwood let time and distance settle matters. His silence was not avoidance, but a deliberate boundary rooted in his belief that personal matters deserve dignity rather than performance. This approach, consistent throughout his life, shaped how he handled both success and controversy. Reflection, legacy, and personal boundaries. In his later years, Eastwood has spoken less about achievement and more about values. Approaching his 90s, reflection naturally replaced ambition, and conversations shifted toward legacy rather than accolades. Eastwood has expressed a desire for simplicity, authenticity, and sincerity in how he is remembered. Rather than public spectacle, he favors quiet respect. In that spirit, he has hinted that not everyone from his professional world truly understood him, and that ideological or philosophical differences shaped emotional distance. This is less about resentment and more about boundaries. Eastwood has always drawn clear lines between respect and disagreement, collaboration and compatibility. His reflections suggest that honoring someone's life means understanding who they were, not projecting one's own beliefs onto them. For Eastwood, authenticity matters even in farewell, reinforcing his lifelong belief that integrity is defined by consistency between values and actions, creative differences, and Hollywood distance. Throughout his career, Eastwood maintained working relationships across a wide spectrum of personalities, yet he never pretended universal alignment. He accepted that creative communities are diverse and often divided by ideology, style, or worldview. While he collaborated professionally with many who differed from him, personal connection was never guaranteed. Eastwood has openly criticized performative behavior and what he sees as excess moral posturing in Hollywood. For him, work spoke louder than declarations. These differences did not always result in conflict, but they created distance. Eastwood preferred understatement over grandstanding, craftsmanship over commentary. As time passed, that gap widened between him and parts of modern Hollywood culture. Rather than fighting those differences publicly, he chose disengagement. His stance reflects maturity rather than bitterness, accepting that mutual respect does not require closeness and that not all professional paths are meant to converge at life's end. Health, discipline, and longevity. Eastwood's longevity is no accident. From a young age, he embraced fitness, moderation, and consistency long before wellness became fashionable. He avoided excess, exercised regularly, and emphasized balanced nutrition. This discipline was reinforced by personal loss, particularly the early death of his father, which left a lasting impact. Rather than turning inward, Eastwood responded by becoming more focused, efficient, and intentional with time. That urgency translated into his work ethic, where he became known for finishing films under budget and ahead of schedule. His health philosophy mirrored his creative approach, simple, effective, and sustainable. Even into advanced age, Eastwood continued working, driven not by ego, but by purpose. His physical discipline supported mental clarity, allowing him to remain active, present, and engaged. Longevity, for Eastwood, was not about defying age, but respecting it through responsible living. Community, business, and civic responsibility. Beyond film, Eastwood invested in community and civic life. His time as mayor of Carmel by the Sea reflected a genuine interest in local governance rather than symbolic power. He approached leadership pragmatically, addressing issues directly and efficiently. His business ventures, including restaurants and real estate, were extensions of this mindset, grounded in sustainability rather than spectacle. Even projects like co-founding a pub reflected his appreciation for shared spaces and community connection. Eastwood understood that success carries responsibility beyond personal gain. He remained engaged locally, contributing quietly rather than seeking praise. This civic involvement complemented his artistic legacy, presenting a fuller picture of a man who valued place, people, and practicality. His influence extended beyond screens, shaping environments where others lived and worked. This grounded engagement reinforced his belief that legacy is built through presence, not proclamation. A final portrait of independence and integrity. Clint Eastwood's life stands as a testament to independence guided by principle. He never sought universal approval, nor did he fear disagreement. His career, relationships, and reflections all point to a man comfortable standing alone when necessary. As he looks toward the final chapters of life, Eastwood remains consistent with the values forged decades earlier: discipline, authenticity, restraint, and respect. His legacy is not just a filmography, but an example of living deliberately, drawing boundaries without hostility, and honoring work over words. In a culture often defined by noise, Eastwood chose clarity. His story reminds us that integrity is sustained not by popularity, but by alignment between belief and behavior. Whether remembered as actor, director, or citizen, Clint Eastwood's enduring impact lies in his unwavering commitment to being exactly who he is, nothing more, nothing less.